Okay, next up, we've done some of the paintwork, but what I do first is to get this set, so we can use, to begin with, a little bit of super glue, because we're going to use photo etch this time. We're going to super glue the part on, because our normal glue won't work. So what I need to do first, that's gone off. Let's just get a little more out. Tip to the side. What I'm doing, I'm putting it on a piece of yellow towel. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a little drop out. This is very thick and very old, so it will stay quite solid for a little while. I'm going to spread it right over, covering all the edges, and I'm going to take it some of it off, make it thinner. Right, let's get that set and ready to cure. Now, the instrument panel on this Spitfire is made out of 3 sections. We've got the bottom one, and we've got the second coat, and then the third bit which goes right on top. First of all, we just need the basic one. So again, we're bringing our razor blade, I can't see it, made a film myself, right to the edge and just snicking off the little tabs. Again, straight to the edge, snicking off the tab, then it comes loose. Okay, right, with this first bit, all we're literally going to do is lay it on and line her up, just like so, so that when we put our gun port on, probably you can see that, put our gun port on, it's all going to line up. And I'm going to use just a cocktail stick and just make sure it's all bedded down nicely how it should be. It's set in the right position and ready to go. Right, the next trick, it's not a trick, it's a way of doing something that I was taught a long while ago, and it works, so I still do it. I have a white glue called Microscale Micro Crystal Clear. Same people who make Microset and Microsol. Is that the same company? This stuff dries absolutely clear. Now the reason I'm going to use this will all come apparent. I'm just going to get some on a cocktail stick, and I'm going to put it right across the whole of the instrument panel, laying it out flat so that's all across there, like so. Not too thick, just enough, but there's a reason. Put the lid back on so she don't go bad. Keep the cocktails separate. Right, back to our sheet of photo etch, and we'll snick off the main top panel. Just like that, he says, like that. So that panel is now free. Now all we're going to do with this Let's bring you in a little bit so you can see it. I'm going to lay that panel over that one. We're going to line it up using all our little markers that we've got. We're going to get the back of the cocktail stick and press in the centre and around, pushing all the white glue through the dash holes. Taking some of it up with a little cotton wool pad, make it a little damp, and just take a little bit of the over bit away. Now that's that little bit. So what we'll do, we're going to get a little bit more. Don't want a huge amount. And we're going to put it across that centre part as well. When this dries back, it looks awful at the moment, but when it dries back, it's going to leave us with glazed dials. So that's what we're going to do with this. So again, we're snicking off the centre panel. Like so, so that she's all free. A little white glue on the hand. Right, getting it into the camera. And we're literally just going to lay it down. Get our cocktail stick, get it into place, wherever we need to put it, making sure she's in the correct position. Sorry, I didn't have you in camera. Making sure she's in the correct position. And what we're going to do now, we're literally going to set that aside to dry, because they are going to end up as glazed panels now, with the dial showing behind it. So we'll put that to one side, let that dry. And we won't touch that again for a little while. Now, okay, so I have a bottle of Alclad 2 mil-spec pigments in black. I've also got red and white out. Ready to start some detailing. I have a 3.0 Pro Art Series brush, and we have our instructions. So what we're going to do, we're going to start to detail the sidewall. So I want to bring you in a little. So all we're going to do is pick out the small parts that need to be black. Looking at the sidewall, just checking the references. So we've got a flat black part here. Being careful not to touch the actual wall itself. Now, because this is mil-spec pigment, it will dry very quickly, as all mil-specs and Alclad range do. We'll pick that bit out, so we'll just make sure you are on camera. What we're going to do is just literally draw the paint around using small amounts, and just letting the paint settle where it needs to and look good. So that's that one bit. And I believe we have another section there. Is it the whole part? Yep. So it's this whole piece. Again, just drawing the paint along not being vicious with it whatsoever. And seeing the parts you may have missed as well, just getting those all in. Drawing it in, and then the trim wheel is flat black as well, so we paint her in, him in, whatever. So just draw the paint round. I'm lucky to have access to this. I'm afraid it's not available on the market, in the marketplace at the moment, but hopefully soon it will be. And we're painting in all the areas, so she's all done. Turn the compressor off, stop a little bit of the noise. Having a look again to see what's there, and checking where we need to. So we have some of the parts need to be painted black on this bit. So we're being very, very careful and just following the instructions. A lot of people will say that there's no need for it, but we do it anyway. So we're just going to fill all the detail in, just like so. Picking it out. That's that bit done. There's not a lot of, oh, hang on, we've got a few more little bits to do. I didn't see. So we're just going to pick the tops of these out, like so. Switch gear and what have you, which is just the fascia plate is actually black. The rest of it is our green colour. So let's pick those ones out. Then we move on to the opposite side. As so. And we check our colouring. So we've got most of this part is black. So we just gently paint her in, him in, whatever. And just make sure that the colouring or the painting is all in place. There are certain parts of this which is silver or aluminium, that's only that bottom piece. So the rest of it is all black. So we can take the paint right the way around, and this edge just draw the paint. That bottom bit of that section is all silver, so we'll paint that in very shortly. We have our flat black and grey green. Right, so we've got some parts at the top here to be painted. So we get the paint over those. making sure not to go everywhere with it. And just leveling it off, and then that little bottle is black, I do know. So we'll detail that just like so. That switch gear has a black top, and there's a little switch there that also has a little black top. So that's that part of it. Right, we can put the lid, I was going to say back on the black, but as we've got the black out, we will paint the black, or the back even, of our seat. I'll just get a little bit of paint, get it ready and on. Just work a little bit of a bigger brush, I think, for this. I don't want much of a bigger brush. And we just want to lie it all down. And we want to get that effect as though it looks like a cloth rather than painted on. And hopefully using this paint with this thinner will give me the effect that I'm looking for. Okay, so that's on. Just want to make sure we get it all looking nice round the edges, like so. The dials have started to glaze in, and they're starting to look really nice. So we'll put that to one side. Right, so we've done all the black and everything else. We're now going to do just a little bit, something to liven it up, to be honest, more than anything. Clean that brush up, clean the black one, the little one up, ready, and then give the old paint a shake. Open her up. This is just to add a little bit of colour to it. No need to it normally, but so it's just to put a little bit of detail in it. That's where the oxygen bottle goes. Quick touch on each of those. So we've got a red switch on that one. Come back to this one. Just a tiny little red. All we're doing is just making a little bit of detail for it to show out. Not really worth doing it. It's not particularly relevant to the build, but it just makes the cockpit look a little bit brighter. Right. So say these are unthin pigments, so you know we get a little bit of running with them sometimes. I'll mix some thinner in with that later. So as I say, we're just gonna dab a little bit just to make it look just that little bit more lively, if you like, as well. So all I'm going to do And then just give that brush a quick clean up. Normally if I'm using metallizers I'll spray them and they'll be alkaline, but as it is I'm not going to with this because it's such a small area. I'm just going to use some paint that I found years ago which has done me well. I get it from my local hobby shop. It's called Robertson's. C. Robertson & Co. Liquid Metal. It's very nice. It does the job that I want it to do when I'm not spraying. Because obviously bits like this I'm not going to spray these, and it's very hard to paint alclad, if you like. So those are done. I got the bottles here which have a strap around them. Can you see this? I hope so. All we're going to do is draw the brush round, letting the paint fill in where it needs to, just like that, and then on the tops. There you go, that's your oxygen bottle sorted. Right, we have a little bit on here to do, which are the bottom of the rudder pedals. Just like so. And we have, there's not much really on here, so we'll just paint little bits. We're going to dry brush that later, so that's all we're going to do for now. And I have the spar from our control column to paint, like so. We have our brake, which needs to be painted. Probably not doing this so you can see it, but it's very difficult. Anyway, that's done. Clean the brush up, and we've got one little more bit to do with the black. Like so. Let's just get that off the board before it takes the colour off. Probably do it again now. Right, I'm just going to paint in the black grip which goes around like so. Just to make that look a little bit better. And of course we'll dry brush that as well later. That can go away. Clean that up. And I get the red. The last part, and where's that control stick? There it is. And of course we have to do the one thing on a Spitfire, and that's put the noise button. There you go. So that's that detailed up.